lot of the attention in the wrestling world has been on the WWE on Netflix, and AEW trying to wrestle some of that attention away with loaded up Dynamite and Collision over the next little bit. So let's look at what they have planned for AEW Dynamite. Title fight with Jon Moxley taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. This feels a little quick to me, to be perfectly honest with you. Obviously, I know with what Copeland is doing right now, the Rated R Cope or whatever we're calling him, that is the kind of bigger overall story. And so I don't mind building that as the bigger thing. But Powerhouse Hobbs, he won the Casino Gauntlet, right? Like that's how he's getting this one. I feel like that should have bigger stakes than you get a title shot on a bigger Dynamite, but a Dynamite still in a match that no one really believes you're going to win. Like that doesn't really feel like you are elevating. Not that like the Casino Gauntlet, I think, is a really cool idea that they have. And they're doing another one here on the women's side. I think it's a very interesting take on a very popular concept, and one that I think can be a real moneymaker for AEW. But they seem to throw it out at random times, and like the winner here, you get a title shot in a couple of weeks on a big Dynamite. This isn't elevating. No one's believing Powerhouse Hobbs is winning this, and so I feel like it takes away from the concept itself. But it gives us a very intriguing fight, a very intriguing match, and I think you got a couple of guys in Hobbs and Cage who are getting a well-deserved spotlight and a well-deserved look at the top when there is a lot of criticism around AEW on, okay, so we got Moxley, we got Christian Cage, and we got Adam Copeland at the top of this card, or at the top of the title picture right now. Cool. Way to be the alternative here. And so they're giving some of these younger stars or less established stars some opportunities to shine here. And so very interested to see what this match looks like. But Hobbs, I think, has a ton of potential. And so while I don't anticipate him winning, I would like to see him stick around in the title picture for a while. Brian Cage against Kenny Omega. These two are going to have a phenomenal match. And I think that this is going to be a good showcase for Brian Cage. And I think that we are already seeing Kenny Omega presented in the way that he needs to, where you just put him out there and it's like, hey, this is the best wrestler in the world. We have something those other guys don't. This guy. And so that needs to be, I think one of the things coming out of this is like this, the best bout machine is back. And I think that needs to be kind of a focus for AEW in general. A lot of the talk in WWE, around WWE, obviously, like Netflix, big deal, all that stuff. And look, I Googled AEW before the stream today to see what, like, let's see what's on the card, let's see what's scheduled, and let's do this preview here. And you Google AEW, and it's former AEW star goes to WWE. AEW ratings are this. There's not a whole lot of positive on those headlines right now. I think that there is a way to kind of take advantage of where WWE is at. Yes, they have all this momentum because of Netflix and The Rock, and it's all these different things that they got going on. But a lot of the buzz was, hey, these shows kind of dragged a little bit. If you can get back to Dynamite being fast-paced, 2 hours, oh my god, why am I even bothering taking notes? Because I'm just having to type at 1,000,000 miles a minute, but it's wrestling. It's the best wrestling you have seen. It is pay-per-view caliber match after pay-per-view caliber match, and we are going to just absolutely blow you away with this fast-paced, exciting 2-hour wrestling show. This is what professional wrestling should look like. I think they have an opportunity to be the alternative again with the way that WWE has paced their shows and with what Dynamite can be. We finally get Christian Cage taking on Hook. I think that this is kind of dragged a little bit. So I'm excited to see a bit of a next look at this. But Christian having that briefcase thing and the cash in, like it has breathed a bit of life into this character, but again, no one believes that he's going to win the championship with this, and no one really is taking it seriously, and so it again just kind of feels like a bit of a waste of what was a big moment at a big show at Wembley Stadium. You have Private Party and Mark Briscoe against the Hurt Syndicate. I've loved what the Hurt Syndicate has been so far, and so and Private Party, a good win for the title, but since then it has very much cooled off. I wonder if the Hurt Syndicate just kind of bulldozes through here. They get the titles, and again, a bit more life into the tag team division. And then, for the first time, we have a women's Casino Gauntlet match to see who will be a challenger for Mariah May. They took Toni Storm out of it, saying like she's just not ready in this character thing, which, by the way, I think it's an interesting take. on kind of the amnesia story that we've seen in television before. I think it's an interesting way to go about building that, but I don't really know. They don't really have a challenger who feels like she is on the cusp of something. Like this could be a Mina Shirakawa coming in and picking up that type of a dub, and getting back into the title picture that way. Like they've already done the Thunder Rosa thing. Maybe it's a Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné, and there's a belt collector thing that way, and you do that. But I think that this is a way to elevate someone into that main event picture on the women's side, and nothing that they have done there has been overly sticky. And that is another thing with AEW, where like we've put young performers in the main event before, but none of them feel like they are locked into the title picture. It's just, well, they were in the main event this month and now they're off, but they were main eventers before. And I know I said with the Jey Uso thing that the best way to make someone feel like a main eventer is to put them in the main event. But with Jey and with a few of the guys who they did this with in the WWE, they at least stayed there, right? Like we've had, okay, well, it's time for all these guys to get these title opportunities, and okay, well, and now they're back down in the middle of the card. The title pushes and the main event pushes need to be sticky for the performers who aren't former WWE people. So I think people would lose their mind over a Statlander one. I would hesitate with that because you have a performer who the story right now is she can't beat the TBS champion. So she gets a world title shot. That it feels very, very AEW, but it doesn't feel like it would make sense. I would like a Willow comeback, or maybe there's someone who I'm not necessarily thinking of, but this might be a way to get Jamie Hayter boosted back up. Although her rivalry with Julia Hart right now maybe takes away from that. So there isn't an obvious one that I can think of off the top of my head, but I am hoping that this allows them to really kind of reestablish the main event picture on the women's side that has been a little bit murky for a while.